What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Game Channel. My name's AJ Gels. How y'all doing? We are back once more with the weekly show. This is episode 183. I'm not gonna lie, this is gonna be kind of a light show this week, as the title says. I'm kind of getting back into the swing of things, getting back in front of my microphone after taking a couple days off. The reason that I'm doing this, it's not something that like I find difficult to talk about. It's just I find it difficult sometimes to explain to people in a way that makes sense to them. If you want to skip to when I actually start talking about the news, there are timestamps down in the description. Feel free to skip ahead to those. I'm usually pretty open with the things that go on with me. With what's going on in my head and everything, but I still kind of do it through like a little bit of a character, a little bit of a persona, if you will. Generally the me you see on camera is still the me that I am just anytime. I mean, it is obviously a little more played up. I am a little more hyper, a little more whatever when I'm on camera, but still, for the most part, you're still getting me, if that makes sense. It's just a little more exaggerated. I think that's what a lot of YouTubers do. But while I'm talking about this, I'm going to try and be a little bit more just, grounded, more whatever. The last couple days, I have been dealing with my anxiety issues. If I've said this multiple times. I have mild autism and an anxiety disorder. Now, my anxiety isn't really brought on about stress. I mean, I do have like your general social anxiety, your general anxiety that that the world is out to get me. I mean, I've got that shit. But what really causes me like anxiety attacks, like full blown panic attacks that I'm having an emotional breakdown, that I'm having trouble, whatever, is some depression and shit that I have been dealing with since I was 14, 15. It's kind of gone through stages and gotten worse, gotten better, gotten worse, gotten better, ever since I was younger. But these last few days, I've just been emotionally drained. I have been physically drained in a lot of ways. So it's one of those that if you've never experienced something like it, it's hard to fully grasp. I think some people can grasp. I think everyone can grasp it to a certain extent. But the only way that I can truly explain like how I felt, is again to people who've really experienced that sort of like really just having that massive amount of anxiety hit them to the point where they can't control. Like, I mean, I was sitting like bawling my eyes out for an hour. I tried to go to work. I think it was on Friday, and I was there for about 20 minutes. I think I dealt to one person. I was trying to shuffle cards, cut chips, and just do everything that I don't. And I couldn't keep my hands from shaking. I was so afraid that I was going to make a mistake, because I mean I've actually had this happen where I've made mistakes and stuff, and I've had players get in my face, and just it's a whole thing. It's my job's kind of weird, but I was just trying to do normal stuff that I can almost do just without even really thinking about it, and I couldn't keep my hands from shaking. I went up to one of my bosses, or one of my managers, and told them, look, I can't do this today. I am serious. Like, I'm honestly afraid that if I make that mistake, I get a guy in my face, I'm gonna sit and just start bawling and crawling into the fetal position on the floor of the casino, and it's just not good. Like that, and I know some people would say, why are you sharing this? It's just, I'm letting you guys know, like, that was my mental state the last couple days. It's like I said, even if I've kind of, it takes a lot out of me physically, and even if I could like kind of recover that, it's just getting myself in that headspace where I want to come in and I want to have fun with you guys. I want to joke. I don't want to sit here and record because I feel like I have to and get stuff done, because I've done some videos like that. Even recently I've done videos like that because I've been tired from work and everything, and I just felt like looking back on them, I'm like, that was really shit. And I shouldn't put out content like that, because I want to put out stuff that's fun and me and you guys, that you guys can enjoy. So, like I said, I just that's why I didn't record the last couple of days, and I do want to apologize for not doing that and all that. But if ever stuff like that happens, I really, and this is again kind of a plug for my Twitter. Please go follow me on Twitter, because that is where I generally, because I can't figure out the YouTube like community messaging system. Maybe I'm dumb. Maybe it's I don't know. I still can't figure out if everybody's getting the, like I post something there in a community tab. If everybody's, all the subscribers at whatever it's going up, that people can see, hey, here's what's going on. So I don't have to do like a small video for it. But generally, follow me on Twitter, because that's when I explain, hey, the show's being delayed for whatever reason, or I'm having some personal problems like I was. It's like I said, it's not fun. It is what it is. But I'm getting back into it. I'm getting back into the swing of things. So like I said, I'm probably in this video, I'm not going to be super animated, super I don't want to say not entertaining, because I'll still try and be entertaining. But I'm probably going to be a little more monotone, a little more reserved and whatnot. I keep seeing the screen bounce around. It's really messing with my eyes. So yeah, that's just the short version of what was going on with me, and I know that's the short version, but if you know me, I could be way more long-winded than that. But either way, I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm not looking for I'm sorry, AJ, that you had to. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm trying. Basically, what I'm trying to do with this, I'm trying to be honest with you guys. I'm trying to be open and tell you guys, look, there's some shit that I haven't dealt with from when I was a kid that I'm trying to repress. I wouldn't suggest that any of you out there. I'd actually suggest get help for your problems. Don't be like me, which is a 25-year-old basically recluse. It's not a good life, trust me. But I'm trying to work through it and go to my day job and do this and everything like that. So it is sometimes it's difficult, sometimes it's not. I'm just trying to tell you guys that, like I said, I'm not again, I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm looking to just explain to you guys where I'm at and sometimes why I have issues. So there we go. Serious time over. Let's actually talk about some of the news. And by the way, if there's news or something that I miss this week, please send me something on Twitter in the comments and say, hey, you maybe missed this story. Or if you do follow me on Twitter, hey, you retweeted this story. I thought it would have been interesting to hear about. Like I said, message me and I'll be happy to do some stuff. Like I'm planning on doing another video because there's a bunch of like random PlayStation stuff that I found interesting that I'm planning on looking at over the next day or two. So probably expect a video of that either tomorrow or on Tuesday. So like I said, just if you think I missed something, just like I said, send me a message and I'll take a look at it and see if I actually want to throw it in a video or something somewhere else down the line. So there we go. I promise I'm done. Let's actually get into the news and what we're all here for, not to listen to me whine about why my problems. All right, first article we got here. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake rumored to be in development at EA. Dear God, I hope this is true. Let me rephrase this. Dear God, I hope this is a true... three things. Dear God, I hope this is true. Dear God, I hope BioWare is doing it. And three, dear God, don't fuck this up. Because I love KOTOR. I mean, I have both of them on PC. I've actually never played the sequel, and I know that sounds weird, but I mean, I have played the first game so many times. Back on the I didn't own an OG Xbox, but I played an OG Xbox game on 360, whatever. But I've been playing it again recently off of Steam, and holy shit, that game! I mean, visually, of course, the game looks terrible, but it looks like a game from its day. I'm not trying to bash on it. The game is so fucking good. I mean, it is such a good game. I mean, and you can see so many elements of what BioWare later became famous for, and maybe almost infamous for. But I loved KOTOR, and I'm not talking the Old Republic, the MMO. I'm talking KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic, the RPG. Fucking fantastic. This article is by Adam Bankhurst. As I said, this is on IGN. The latest rumor indicates that a new Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic project is underway at EA, and it looks to, quote, integrate elements from the first two games in order to bring certain things into the current Star Wars canon, end quote. As reported by Cinelinx, hopefully that's correct. Two sources claim to have knowledge on the rumored return of the beloved franchise. The first source says a remake of the 2003 classic is in development. I also hope that's true. And the second expands and says it, quote, wasn't so much a remake, but a sequel of sorts, end quote. Okay. Honestly, I think I'd rather have a remake. I'd much rather them tell the same story with updated visuals. I don't want them to change the battle system too much and make it more like an action game. I actually kind of like the it's based on on like dice rolls, and part of me wishes you could actually see the dice rolls, and that would take place slower, almost like a turn-based strategy game. But I don't think it needs to be that. I think it can still basically stay the same way it is, be based on, like I said, rolls and hit chance, miss chance, all that, and skills and feats and everything. I think the game could, like I said, I think its battle system was maybe a little complicated to kind of grasp when I was younger, but now looking at it, I'm like, oh, it was actually really, it was really good. It was really simple. Again, me being 25, not me being like 13 and only wanting to, be a Jedi and mind fuck people. Sorry, that's a weird comment. I see games differently now, and I think I can really appreciate the battle system in the original game. It's like I said, I think the original game would work now. It's just like I said, I just want mostly it's just touch up the visuals, redo some of the dialogue. I think the game could be fantastic. I don't even think you need to change the story itself. Just keep the same beats, the same planets, and everything. Just maybe make the environments better looking, make them bigger. I maybe add some quests here or there, but I think the game itself would work on its own as just a straight up remake, or just touch, like I said, just touch up the visuals and re-release it. I'd play that too. Sorry, this new, I went into a tangent there. This new project, as previously mentioned, would take elements from the first KOTOR and Knights of the Old Republic 2, the Sith Lords, and retool the two stories to make them fit into current canon. See, I actually prefer they didn't, mostly because I'm not a big fan of the current Star Wars canon, especially because I think that they've done a lot of things to screw with, I'll say that nicely. Looking at you, Disney. Look, is the Disney canon a little easier to understand than the full extended universe canon? Yeah, because the full extended universe canon was just, there were so many books, so much controversial, or not controversial, contradicting pieces of information and everything. And it's like I said, I think the original KOTOR and KOTOR 2, because I've seen at least playthroughs of KOTOR 2. I've never played it, but seen playthroughs of it. I think they were great. I think the stories were perfect as a first game and a sequel. I don't think they need changed. I think that they would work perfectly fine. Do not redo them. Do not retool them. I think leave them as they are and focus on like I said, just making things look better, run better. Like I said, maybe touch up the combat system a tad, make it a little easier to understand, or make things a little more, or just give us more information about stuff. But as a whole, I think the games were great for what they were. And like I was saying earlier, I'd much rather see them remake it than full on add another game to make it a trilogy, because again, I'd rather them not ruin it, not fuck with them. Just like I said, keep them the same. It's all you'd have to do, and I think so many people would be happy with it. I really do. And hell, you want if EA wants some goodwill back, that's how you do it. Although I'm gonna make a kind of tangent off here and make a quick joke. If anybody's, I know I retweeted this picture. I can't remember how long ago it was, but if anyone can find it, it was so many people have been ripping on that last scene from episode 9, which in all honesty I still haven't seen. I cannot get myself to do it after the garbage that was 8. But I have been just obsessed with those memes at the very end where, because I know the ending of the movie where Rey's like, who are you, Rey Skywalker, and all that bullshit. But people have made so many funny alternate endings where her family was somebody else. My favorite was it's who are you? I'm Rey. She looks off and sees a Force ghost of Jar Jar. Rey Binks. And I'm like, that's my ending. That's my canonical ending from now on. Oh my god, that's great. That's my canon. Sorry, I had to just mention that meme. I'll see if I can. You know what? Give me a second. Let me see if I can pull it up. Yeah, like I said, this right here, this is my canon. This is the greatest thing ever. I love it. All right, I'm sorry about subjecting you guys to that. I fucking love that meme though. It's funny. These rumors do fall in line with Lucasfilm's president, Kathleen Kennedy's. Ugh. It's like Candyman or Voldemort. They're going to show up in my room. Freak me out, man. Previous comments confirming that Lucasfilm is developing something Knights of the Old Republic related. Oh, god damn it. No. Hey, it's... I just see that gun. Hey, here's something Star Wars related that people absolutely love that we haven't managed to fuck up yet. Let's get our hands on it. Ugh. There have also been rumors of a Knights of the Old Republic film with some sources linking Game of Thrones, D.B. Weiss and David Benioff. Is it Benioff? I think it's Benioff, excuse me. Who are no longer creating a Star Wars trilogy. Yeah, it's because I think didn't the Kenobi TV show just get put on hiatus or something? I've kind of been following along with that. Yeah, there's been a lot of issues over at Lucasfilms, and I wonder why. It was reported last year after the cancellation of KOTOR 3 that Obsidian always envisioned the games to be a trilogy. Lead writer Chris Avallone from Reboot Developed also said KOTOR 3 foreshadowed what Darth Revan was doing in the second game. As for the current canon, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker did make Darth Revan canon, as one of the Emperor Palpatine's Sith Trooper legions was named the third Revan Legion. Wasn't he also seen as one of the ghosts in that movie? Again, I can't tell you for certain, but hopefully if this project is real, it will live up to the legacy created by the KOTOR series and continue the upward swing for EA's Star Wars titles, including Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. In our review, we said makes up blah, blah, blah. I did love Fallen Order. That was a really fun game, though. For more Star Wars information, check on Gregor's comments confirming despite the Disney Plus Obi-Wan series being put on hold, the release date has not changed. Oh, okay. So the release date's not changed, but still, shooting's been put on hold. Whatever. Yeah, guys, I think I pretty much put all my thoughts out there. Yeah, I'd rather Disney not touch this and break something so good. Please don't. All right, I had to actually Google something in between articles. I thought that article mentioned that Obsidian said that KOTOR was originally meant to be a trilogy. I'm sitting there going, wait a minute, I've always known KOTOR is a BioWare series. I had to Google. I'm like, yeah, Obsidian is listed as a number of developers. I'm not sure what their part was, because like I said, I know it more as a BioWare series, but if it was more them than BioWare, please, somebody let me know that I've been completely incorrect on that for the longest time. Oh. God, stop showing me gameplay of that weird deer game. Either way, moving on. Hellblade 2 will show how, quote, suffering shapes myths, gods, and religion, end quote, says dev. Article Jordan Ramey of GameSpot. If you guys didn't know, I loved Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. I really loved the first game. Now, am I so super excited to be playing Hellblade 2 on my new Xbox when that comes out? Not particularly, because again, if you know my thoughts on Xbox, I've really not been a fan of the direction they've been going for the past while. But no, I really do love what, getting away from Microsoft, I really do love what Ninja Theory did with Senua's Sacrifice. I thought that game was amazing. How it really kind of made you question the entire game was everything that we experienced in that game, everything that Senua was going through. Was it real? I think that was the biggest question, at least in my opinion. Was any of this real? Because we know that she's probably has something like schizophrenia or something similar to that. You know, she's hearing voices, she's having visual hallucinations, she's going through all this grief that somebody that she truly cared for passed away, and at the very end of the game, it really kind of left it up to your own interpretation. That was this journey of letting go for Senua? Was she really dealing with the gods? Was she going through the underworld? Was she fighting all these demons? Was it all a psychological journey for her? Was she imagining all of this just to be able to let go of something? It's in a weird way. It's almost more of a mental trial than it was one of a physical sort of trial. I thought that game was just absolutely outstanding. I did a full Let's Play of it on the channel. I heavily suggest go to check it out. It was wow. So I really do have high hopes for Hellblade 2. I really hope that they can kind of keep up that sort of very thought-provoking sort of feel while still making a really great action game, because I think that was something else that Senua Sacrifice was controlled beautifully. It was so good as just an action game. Again, I cannot say enough good things about Hellblade. Senua Saga Hellblade 2 is one of the 3 upcoming projects from Ninja Theory, designed under the developer's mission to craft life-changing art with game-changing tech, the third of which, Project Mara, was just announced in a YouTube dev diary. Ninja Theory revealed what type of story Hellblade 2 will. I'll take a look at Project Mara probably next week, because I think there was some stuff about that I might have just forgot to pull up here. While Hellblade gave us while Hellblade gave us a very personal insight into psychosis, the sequel builds on that to show how madness and suffering shapes myths, gods, and religion, end quote. Ninja Theory co-founder Tamim Naiades, I'm not sure, said, "Our goal is to make an experience comparable to the epic myths and sagas of old," end quote. Okay, so I think that's actually giving me a complete answer that yes, that the everything in Hellblade was very much that it was all in her head. But again, it's like I said, I think if you just play the end of the game though, it doesn't fully, it makes you think that yeah, it was all psychological, but it kind of leaves that opening theory of, well, was it? It never comes out and tells you, it says anything. It's like I said, it's very, very thought provoking. That's probably one of the best parts of it. Antonaides, I have no idea how to pronounce that name. Quote, "The team will be about twice the size of Hellblade's team, still very small by AAA standards, but it aims to prove that small teams can achieve great things using procedural technologies and smart tools." Earlier in the dev diary, Ninja Theory commercial director Dom Matthews said that the team behind the original Hellblade was composed of 20 people, so we can infer about 40 people are working on Hellblade 2. Hellblade 2 was announced alongside the reveal of Xbox Series X, the boombox-looking thing, Microsoft's next-gen console. The first game, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, launched as a limited-time PS4 console exclusive in 2017, before releasing on Xbox One in 2018 and Nintendo Switch in 2019. The game is currently included in Xbox Game Pass. Seriously, if you have not played Hellblade, I'm serious. It was I'm not sure what the current price is. At the time, they were trying to do like AAA games on a budget, and I think they accomplished that. I mean, that was a AAA game that I would have paid $60 for Hellblade. And I got it thinking, oh, it's kind of cheap. Okay, it's 40. Okay, sure. But then I played it and went, holy, or was it even 20 at the time? I think it might have been 20. Can't remember the exact, or maybe it was in the middle. Maybe it was $30. But either way, I mean, its pricing was what drew me in, and then I played it and went, oh, I would have paid $60 for this. I would have paid, seriously, find it and play it. It is a phenomenal game. Where was I going with this? In GameSpot's Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice review, Alessandro Filari wrote, quote, "Hellblade's most notable achievement is in handling of an incredibly sensitive subject matter with an engaging and well-crafted action-adventure game. And at its heart, the story is about Senua's struggle to come to terms with her illness." See, I don't think it's actually to come to terms with her illness. I disagree with that approach. I think in a way, yes, it is about that, because, and also what I think made it so great of how it dealt with mental illness was because it was not the forefront of the game. It wasn't trying to be like what Don't Nod did with some of the stuff in Life is Strange. It was very much, if you wanted to ignore stuff and play it as an action game, you could. If you wanted to take everything literally, you could. But really, if you dig into it and you listen to a lot of the stories and you look at a lot of the imagery and the stuff that's dealt with, especially when you really get into what Senua had to go through in her past because of the illness she was born with, it really handles things not only with tact, but I'm trying to think the best way to put it. it was clear the message that they were trying to make, but they weren't trying to beat you over the head with it. You know, they weren't trying to make a statement. They were just trying to almost give you almost a video game representation of what dealing with certain issues is like. I think that was the best part, the fact that they didn't take a stance, that they didn't take some, like I said, that's the best way I can put it. They didn't take a stance on it. They just kind of threw it out there and tried to have it be a representation of what it's like dealing with this stuff. And I think that was the best part of it. In going on to what it said with coming to terms with illness, I think it was actually, and again, it's in here, in the process, she learns to find strength within herself to endure and to make peace with her past. And in a profound and physical way, we go through some of the struggles with her, come away with a better understanding of a piece of something that many people in the world struggle with, end quote. See, I think that it was more, the story was more about her coming to terms with death and to deal with that, what Dillian, I think was his name, was her coming to terms. Like I said, I think it was her coming to terms with his death, almost going through the stages of grief and death and all that stuff, while also dealing with the mental illness. I'm not saying that that's a completely invalid opinion, because I think she does deal with that stuff, but deep down, though, I think it was more a story about dealing with death and the world itself, while, like I said, while also dealing with these issues. It was a little bit of both, but I still think, I don't know. Like I said, I guess it depends on who you are. You can take what you want out of it. It just, again, I keep saying it's a very interesting game, and I'm very excited to see what they're going to do with the sequel. So I'll leave it there. All right, let's move on to an article on Push Square. Multiple Kingdom Hearts games now in development, one coming surprisingly soon. Article Liam Croft, as I said, Push Square. If you thought last year's Kingdom Hearts 3 and tomorrow's Remind DLC would put a stop to all things Kingdom Hearts, then boy, do you need to reconsider things. This train is set to keep trucking, as director Tetsuya Nomura has now confirmed that multiple new entries in the franchise are now in development. Because, you know, if there's one thing that we need added to this complicated-ass timeline, it's more games. Fantastic. The legendary creator hasn't revealed whether there'll be numbered installments or further spin-offs, but we can expect one of those projects to arrive sooner than you might be expecting. To celebrate tomorrow's Kingdom Hearts 3 expansion, Nomura answered various questions, explaining what to expect in the future and where his development teams are at. It is stated that Square Enix has 2 new teams in operation, as well as its mobile department, and the team which just wrapped up works on Kingdom Hearts 3, making for 4 separate studios putting out games in the future. I believe the sooner rather than later Kingdom Hearts game is going to be a mobile game, just to kind of make sure everybody's on the same page there. I've also been hearing what people have been writing reviews about with the Remind DLC. They've basically said that if you're a fan and really love, you know, you're a diehard fan, you'll love Remind, but for everyone else, you'll probably just be really confused as to what the point of this was. And to my response is fantastic. I'm still thinking about like setting up, like doing some joke video. I joked about it on Twitter of doing some like beautiful mind setup with like a cork board behind me with all the red thread drawn plot lines and the trivia and shit all together for Kingdom Hearts to try and like piece together some semblance of a cohesive story. Now, it's cohesive. I know some people are going to tell me, oh no, Kingdom Hearts makes sense. You just kind of have to accept things for some bits of time, and I just think it's weird. Some people have told me, you play the Kingdom Hearts games in the order that they're released, and I say, fuck that. I am playing them in chronological order for the most part. Granted, I'm playing 3 right now because it was new when I started it, and I thought, you know what, when I first decided I was going to play Kingdom Hearts, I was going to start with 1. That was also before I realized that one of the Kingdom Hearts games was actually a prequel to 1, but that's whatever. It introduces characters that really weren't. I think. Wait, no, it involved Ansem, didn't it? Or I'm trying to remember everything that was in Kingdom Hearts 1. Oh my god, now I'm confusing myself. See, this is what Kingdom Hearts does to me. Son of a bitch. More important, however, is the fact that one of those new teams will be releasing a game surprisingly soon, mobile game. Due to the nature of the series, we can't say for sure whether it'll launch on PlayStation hardware or not, but there's certainly a good chance mobile that it could, a chance of it happening. A new Kingdom Hearts game arriving in the first year of the PlayStation 5's lifespan would suit us nicely. It won't. Are you looking forward to more Kingdom Hearts? No, again, am I looking forward to more Kingdom Hearts? Actually, I'm looking really forward to Persona 5 Scramble. But hey, you know what? How about you give us a release date for that for here in the West, or even tell us that it's coming to the West? Just saying, I want that game. What was I talking about? No, I'd definitely be up for more Kingdom Hearts. Like the series is one of those that has a weird place to me. It's one of those that it frustrates me to no end, but I can't bring myself to hate it. I really like Kingdom Hearts as an idea, but sometimes the execution and just the weird ass timeline just makes it so hard to get into. Kind of like Saw. If anybody, I know that's a weird comparison. But you know, like I love the Saw series, and yeah, I know that's a weird statement. I would argue that the first Saw movie is one of the best horror movies ever made, and I know that's gonna make some people go, "What?" But no, I think the first Saw movie was fantastic. Granted, I mean beyond that, then it's just torture porn and what we know Saw to be. But I thought the first Saw movie, you know, being in that one location, the bathroom, and just the acting and everything just was fantastic. I loved the original Saw. Either way, I'm getting off into tangents. That pretty much means we should move on. If you're curious, yes, these next couple are going to be pretty quick hitters. Moving on, we've got an article on this Games Radar. More combat footage of PS5 game Godfall has leaked. Honestly, I'm cool with that. I really, really do like the idea for Godfall. The game looks cool. Combat looks nice. So I'm definitely interested in this game. I think it's gonna be a PS5 launch title, actually, as far as I know. Leaked combat footage of PS5 game Godfall has given us a tiny glimpse of what to expect from the next-gen Gearbox title. A 6-second video that surfaced on Reddit shows us the third-person actioner, which is also coming to PC in full flow briefly. Check out the supposed footage of Godfall with weapons being swung with gleeful abandon below. Instead of watching that, we'll watch this expanded gameplay trailer. According to the Redditor who uploaded it, this is taken from an internal trailer from early 2019. While any leaks like this are always worth taking with a healthy pinch of salt, the main character models do appear to be the same ones as in the Game Awards trailer, which lends a bit to its credibility. There's a few things that caught in the footage, including what appears to be a lunging attack for one character at the start of this clip, as well as an attack direction indicator around the player character for such brief videos. That's at least a few nuggets of info. Since it was announced at the Game Awards, we've learned that Godfall will have a loot system where you'll be going after legendary weapons and armors according to its website, as well as the option for, quote, 1, 2, or 3-player co-op play. And, quote, in our recent interview with Godfall developer Counterplay Games, CEO Keith Lee has told us what to expect from the PS5 and PC game. Quote, imagine a co-op loot shooter experience like Borderlands, but instead it's a co-op loot slasher experience set in a more serious and brand new fantasy world filled with heroic knights and ancient magic, end quote. We can't wait to see more of Godfall, and hopefully the next time we do, it'll be a slightly bigger and more official look. That was the original article. Has been an update. A full version of the trailer has been leaked onto the internet, giving us a much bigger glimpse of an early build of the game. The new trailer is a minute long and shows us a lot more of the game's game's combat. Check out the extended footage below. And real quick before I hop into that, no, you know, the idea originally, trying to think how to put this, until I read that it's supposed to be like Borderlands but less serious, I'm sitting there going, ooh, that doesn't help you, because I think part of what made Borderlands so fun was the goofiness. Because, frankly, well, not a lot else in there that really grabbed me. I mean, Borderlands is a perfectly fine shooter. It's fun. But at the end of the day, it's the goofiness that I really loved. I don't know. Let's take a look at this gameplay. Get my headset on. I really like the look, though. Alright, I actually like what we saw there. I really do. It's almost like if they took a Souls-like game and kind of made it like Borderlands. Yeah, again, I mean, I don't know. Who knows? This could be a really great game. Could be we could have a Sunset Overdrive situation where it's everybody sees it. Oh, it's just going to be your typical kind of like launch game crap, but then go, oh, this was actually pretty good. So here's hoping for that and whatnot. I don't know. I can't transition. Like I said, I can't transition between articles in the mood I'm in, but either way, here we go. Article on Games Radar. Silent Hill rumors point to multiple games in the series being worked on. Article by Ben Tyre and Alyssa Mercante. Am I the only one who hears someone say, "Oh yeah, we're making more games for the Silent Hill series," and go, "Yeah, probably not a good idea." After the whole loss of Kojima, when he was leave me alone, video ads. I really should use an ad blocker or some shit. But after Kojima leaves, and with what he leaves everyone with PT, maybe not the best idea to try and follow that. Silent Hill rumors point to multiple... Okay, we already read that. You know where this is from. Okay, let's take a look at the article here. Twitter user Aesthetic Gamer claims Konami has been reaching out to developers for pitches for 2 different Silent Hill games, and also suggests there's a good chance one might be revealed this year. You can read his tweets on it below. Like any rumor, this should be taken with as much salt, blah, blah, blah. In this instance, though, the leaker has been right. A few other tidbits in the past. Last August correctly predicted the Project Resistance would become a part of Resident Evil 3 Remake rather than being a separate game months before RE3's official announcement. Obviously, that doesn't mean that this shouldn't be taken with a degree of skepticism, but it's important to note that they have been right before. The last time we got anything even remotely Silent Hill related was Hideo Kojima and Guillermo del Toro's BT, the demo that was meant to tease Silent Hill and star Norman Reedus that was dropped after Kojima left Konami. According to Aesthetic Gamer, one game is meant to be a soft reboot of the franchise, while the other is an episodic game not unlike Telltale's The Walking Dead series. They believe one or both games have a chance of being announced in 2020, but don't know much else about them. Okay, you know what? Actually, I don't mind those ideas. Look, I respect Silent Hill for what it is as a horror game, and that so many people love them. I have not played them, mostly because they go back, again, to that time. Kind of like a Final Fantasy VII situation. They go back to that time before I really played games. I believe they were PS1 generation, or at least the first one was, when the series got popular, and then, me, if I don't want to start a series, and I generally don't like to start series in the middle. I mean, there are some games that I can do it, if I know that they aren't really connected. Like with Persona, I can jump in. I jumped in at 3 and didn't worry about playing 1 or 2, even though I have played 1 or 2 since, and I'm not a big fan of the original ones. I like 3, 4, and 5 better. Maybe it's because it's more that sort of like life simulator sort of thing, but that's beside the point. Yeah, I never really got into the Silent Hill games. So again, in PT, just I tried playing it and I about shit my pants. So it's just not for me. I I mean, like I can tolerate some horror games. I mean, if anybody remembers how much of a bitch I was when I was playing, said Final Fantasy VII, when I was playing Resident Evil 7, but I got through it. Damn it, I loved it. Actually, that was a really fun game, even though it scared the crap out of me. But no, PT was on another level. I couldn't do it. But I like the idea of a soft reboot of Silent Hill, of a game where I can kind of jump on and get going with things. I'm okay with that. I like that idea. And the other idea of having a this sort of the narrative adventure, the sort of episodic style game similar to like The Walking Dead. I think that's actually a really good idea for a series like Silent Hill. Yeah, I know you'd lose some action stuff, but I think you could do a lot of puzzle stuff. You can do a lot. You could really focus on puzzles, and you could focus on story and the psychological element of the games. I think that there's a lot of really cool stuff that you really wouldn't have to worry about the combat, which from what I've heard of the earlier games was really clunky. Yeah, I think you could do some really cool stuff with that more narrative adventure style with with Silent Hill. I think that would be really cool. Given the success of Kojima's Death Stranding, which features Del Toro's likeness and Ritas as the protagonist, it's no surprise that Konami would want to push forward on this. And in today's environment, with a widely successful Resident Evil 2 reboot still collecting awards and the Resident Evil 3 reboot around the corner, bringing back Silent Hill would certainly make a lot of sense. The same Twitter user also claimed there's a Resident Evil 8 game on the horizon. They certainly have some good connections, right? I have been hearing a lot about that Resident Evil 8 is in the works right now. And like I said, how much do I believe this rumor? Again, at this point, if you know me, I just take it as it's a rumor. It's a cool idea. And I do hope they're right, though. I do hope that the narrative adventure, like Telltale-like game is in the works. Because I think that, like I said, I think that would be really cool. Something more similar to like what, although I would prefer it if they did it something to what David Cage and Quantic Dream has done. I think that would be a lot better than actually doing it truly episodic and whatever. But like I said, more like a Quantic Dreams game. And the other idea of it just having it be a soft reboot, I like that too. Like I said, it just kind of gives me a jumping on point. So I went into this thinking that this was a bad idea, thinking, man, why would you want to try and follow Kojima's PT? Okay, kitty, stop biting me. I was petting you, and then you decided to be mean. Yeah, now I'm not going to pet you anymore. That's right. You feel sad. I'm also going to ignore you. Oh, I can't do that. You're too cute. Now we're just trying to high five, but he's got his claws out, and I don't want to high five him. Sorry, my cat distracts me as always. What the hell was I talking about? Oh, right. Would you really want to follow a Kojima game, or would you really want to follow that PT trailer with another game? I don't know, but I think if they're going to do it, I think those two ways are actually really good ideas. Yeah, that's all I got. All right, I intended for this series this video to actually be a lot shorter and whatever, but you know me, I still get off on tangents and have fun talking about stuff and whatever. Here we are about 50 minutes later. I thought we'd end with something kind of goofy, kind of fun. This is, can Captain Tsubasa's first PS4 gameplay pass FIFA off the park? Article Sammy Barker of Push Square. Last week, I kind of did like a follow-up video to the weekly show where we watched about 30 so minutes of Fairy Tail gameplay, and I really liked it. I really liked the game because not only am I a fan of Fairy Tail, I love turn-based JRPGs. I mean, it's hitting every note that I love in a game. Like you could put it into just about any IP, and I'd fall in love with it. But this is another weird one that I kind of caught. I caught word of last week that this was happening, and now we have gameplay of it, and that is that they're making a soccer game based on Captain Tsubasa. It was I think 1981 manga. Did it ever get an anime? I don't think it did. But it was a really long-running sports series. It's popular. I generally don't read soccer manga. I mean, I love sports manga. I really do, like Hajime no Ippo. I've read shitloads of baseball series. I've tried reading Diamond No Ace, and I know so many people have told me that it's really good. I keep getting into it, and I keep falling out of it. But that's beside the point. I love baseball manga, boxing manga. I've read some for Ice Shield 21. I loved, even though that was a little goofier. I've read one on rugby. Like I said, I love sports manga. But soccer ones never really grabbed me. There's been a few. Area no Kishi was pretty good, and I really like Giant Killing, even though that one was more. It wasn't all about soccer. It was more about the manager, and it was a lot of like back office stuff. I thought that was really cool. But yeah, I've tried reading Tsubasa, and I never really got into it. But I like this idea of a manga sports game. I think this could be really cool. And I know Hajime no Ippo got a few games on the Wii, but that was the Wii. Come on. Well, it's great to have a new arcade-inspired sports game to look forward to. Anime adaptation, Captain Tsubasa: Rise of New Champions doesn't look like a title contender in this first PlayStation 4 gameplay footage. While the art style of New Champions doesn't look like a title contender for the first PlayStation 4 gameplay footage, while the art style inspired by the classic 1981 manga appears to be on point, the actual action seems cumbersome with a jerky camera and some tedious dribbling animations. We do like the little flourishes on display. Taking shots triggers a mini cutscenes as the striker shapes up and the goalkeeper attempts to get his fingertips on the ball, but the overall match flow in this IGN video seems unexciting, and it honestly makes for quite a drab watch. Fortunately, the title's not due out until later this year, so there's plenty of time for tweaks and improvements. Let's take a look. I haven't watched it. I've seen bits and pieces, but let's really watch. Okay, one, go away ads. Let's go full screen too. I will give them, it does look really jerky, but no, they really have captured the animation style. Every character looks the same. It's that same fucking face. Okay, so far it kind of looks like your typical kind of like a FIFA style. I mean, it's very anime, very manga style game. I don't hate it so far. I'm not a fan of the I'm not a fan of the camera angle though. I really hate this camera angle. But I mean, I hate playing FIFA in this camera angle as well. So I will agree though. I mean, it does look very jerky. It is kind of hard to watch. I mean, it's making my eyes hurt a little bit. So you're seeing you're seeing Super Ace, Bearer of Victory. All right, that is really dope. So yeah, I mean, it looks like there's going to be like skills and everything based on stuff like that. You know, there's going to be skills. It's going to be very anime-esque, you know. Yeah, I think calling this more of like an arcade game than a true soccer game is true. And I think with a few more touches, I think this game is going to look really cool come launch. Yeah, it's like I said, I don't hate it. I don't love it, but I don't hate it.
それで素早く横にかわす澤田君回転をかけてシュートを放った森崎君このシュートを正面から受け止めるキックどこまで運べるかなんと相手の守備が整う前に一気に攻めたいところ体ごとぶつかっていったここはパスを出した日向君ここは勝負を避けた伊沢君ボールを狙うも届かないそれがシュートを放った森崎君これはキャッチできない伊沢君これをトラップ今井君ボールを狙うも届かないここはパスを出したそれやった素早く横にかわすドリブルでボールを運ぶチャージが決まったそれおっと攻守交代だそれ反町君このパスをカットします回して振り切った短いパスを受けスペースにパスを出した岩見君ボールを持った
Okay, so yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, very clearly there's. Again, I'm gonna say it again. I mean, clearly there's gonna be skills and special moves or whatever. I think rather than comparing this to FIFA, we should be comparing this to something like what was it, like that Super Strikers game that Mario made, like Mario Tennis or something like that. Now I'm thinking of is how much I want like a baby steps tennis game. Again, if you another manga that if you've not read and like that stuff, I heavily suggest that Baby Steps is really good. Trying to see if there's any. To figure out what this V zone thing is. Alright, I am gonna kind of skip around here because about 15 minutes of this could start getting really. All right, so it's looking like it's gonna be just more of this. Sorry if I was watching too much of this, or I was kind of getting sucked in a weird way. No, I think the way that they were describing that I think was exactly right. I think it was very cartoony, very arcadey. Not necessarily that that's a bad thing. I think some stuff needs to be touched up. But if this game is coming out later this year, I'd like to see more of it in a couple months. But that's my take. All right, guys. Well, I think that's going to about wrap things up for this episode. I want to say, as always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being patient with me over the last couple days. If you sat through all of that stuff at the beginning, thank you. And if not, again, no hard feelings. I get it. Other than that, I don't really have much else to say other than thanks for watching. Social media, Facebook, Twitter, the website, minds.com. Links, all that stuff is down in the description below, along with timestamps and links to every article. Like, comment, you're not already. Please subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for more next time. Till then, my name's AJ Gels. This is Home Game Channel. I'm out.